The doors to the great hall opened with a heavy groan. Kang Day stepped through, and the noise hit him like a wall. Thousands of voices echoed in the massive chamber, speaking in dozens of alien languages. The air smelled strange, a mix of chemicals and exotic atmospheres that the ventilation system worked hard to balance. He walked forward slowly, his armor made soft clicking sounds with each step. Some of the plates were loose, others were held together with rough welding that he had done himself in the cargo hold of his transport ship. The chest piece had a large crack down the middle, sealed with industrial adhesive. One shoulder guard was missing completely, showing the padded suit underneath. The Great Hall of Champions was exactly as impressive as the story said. The ceiling stretched up so high that clouds formed near the top. Massive screens showed footage from past tournaments, displaying warriors of incredible skill and power. Around the hall, hundreds of fighters stood in groups talking and sizing each other up. Kang Day made his way toward the registration desk. As he walked, conversation stopped. Aliens turned to look at him. At first there was confusion on their faces. Then, slowly, that confusion turned into something else. A massive creature with red scales and 4 arms pointed at him. The aliens started laughing, a deep, rumbling sound. Others joined in. Soon, laughter spread through the hall like wildfire. "Look at that," one alien shouted. "Did someone let a scrap collector in here? Is that armor or garbage?" Another voice called out. A towering warrior with reptilian features stepped forward. His scales were deep green, decorated with gold markings that showed his rank and victories. His armor gleamed under the hall's lights clearly, expensive and powerful. This was Voreth, one of the most famous champions in the tournament's history. "Human," Voreth said, his voice like stones grinding together, "I think you are lost. The recycling center is 3 levels down." More laughter erupted. Kang Day kept walking. His face showed nothing, no anger, no embarrassment, no reaction at all. He simply moved forward toward the registration desk. Behind the desk sat a being made entirely of crystal. It shifted color slowly from blue to purple to green. This was Shimmer of Dawn, one of the tournament officials. The crystalline alien looked at Kang Day with what might have been concern. "Human warrior Shimmer of Dawn said carefully, are you certain you wish to register? The galactic trials are extremely dangerous. Many warriors die. Here your equipment appears insufficient. I paid the registration fee." Kang Day said quietly, "Galactic law says you must let me compete." Shimmer of Dawn's colors flickered rapidly, showing inner conflict. "This is true, but I must warn you, I understand the risks." The official hesitated, then processed his registration. A holographic display appeared showing Kang Day's basic information and his first match assignment. Around the hall, aliens were still laughing and making jokes. Some were taking bets on how quickly he would be eliminated. A woman approached from the side. She was human too, shorter than Kang Day, with tired eyes that had seen too many battles. This was Han Sara, his engineer and support crew. She carried a toolbox that looked almost as battered as his armor. "They're all laughing at us," she said quietly in Korean. "I know," Kang Day replied in the same language. "Your armor is falling apart. I can barely hold it together anymore." "Maybe they're right to laugh." Kang Day looked at her. "Armor doesn't matter. It's supposed to Protect you, Sora, trust me, she sighed. But nodded. They had been through too much together for her to doubt him now, even when everything seemed impossible. For approached them again, his heavy footsteps shaking the floor slightly. I hope we face each other, little human. It will be quick, painless even. I am not cruel to weak opponents. Kang Day met the alien's eyes. We an LT Uncan GT LLC. Confidence, Boreth laughed, that is good. Every warrior should have dignity. Even false dignity. He turned and walked away, his golden armor catching the light around them. The hall buzzed with excitement. The tournament would begin. Soon, thousands of warriors from hundreds of worlds, all competing for glory and enormous prize money. Combat contracts worth millions would go to the winners. Fame across the galaxy awaited the champions, and somewhere in the middle of it all stood a human in broken armor, ignored by almost everyone, laughed at by the rest. Kang Day found a quiet corner and sat down. He closed his eyes and began to breathe slowly, falling into a meditative state. Sora worked on his armor, tightening bolts and reinforcing weak points as best she could. The first round would begin in 2 hours. Then everyone would see what a human warrior could really do. The arena floor was covered in a special material that could withstand extreme heat and impact. Kang Day stood on one side, checking his equipment one last time. Across from him, his opponent floated in the air like a cloud of colored gas. The Nethic warrior had no solid body. It was a being of compressed poison gas held together by a force field that glowed faintly blue. The gas shifted and swirled inside the field, forming shapes that looked almost like a face and arms. The Nethic had fought 17 matches before this tournament and won them all. The crowd filled the seats above, thousands of aliens watching dozens of screens that showed different angles of the fight. Most of them were not even paying attention to this match. It was just a first-round fight with a human nobody expected to last long. Fighters ready. The automated announcement system declared, match begins in 10 seconds. Kang Day took a ready stance. His armor creaked. The shoulder without a guard felt exposed and strange. 5 seconds. The Nethic warrior flowed upward, preparing to strike from above. Begin. The Nethic moved like lightning made of gas. It flowed through the air impossibly fast, reforming into a blade shape as it dove toward Kang Day. Most solid creatures could not touch the Nethic. Weapons passed through its gaseous body. It would strike and then disperse. Avoiding counterattacks, Kang Day moved. He stepped to the side, exactly as the Nethic formed its blade shape. The alien's attack hit nothing but air. Before the Nethic could disperse again, Kang Day's fist was already moving. He struck the force field generator at the creature's core. The Nethic recoiled. Surprised, it dispersed into a cloud and reformed 10 ft away. You are fast, human, the Nethic said in a voice like wind through a tunnel, but speed alone will not save you. The alien attacked again, this time splitting into 3 separate streams of gas, each one coming from a different direction. This was an advanced technique that had defeated many opponents. How could anyone block 3 attacks at once? Kang Day's damaged armor sparked as he moved. The chest plate groaned under the stress. He ducked under the first stream, rolled past the second, and jumped through the third. The Nethic reformed behind him, already attacking again. This time something broke. Kang Day's left shoulder plate, already hanging loose, fell completely off. It clattered to the arena floor with a loud metallic sound. In the stands, aliens laughed. On the main screens, commentators made jokes. One of them said, "The human's armor is falling apart before the fight even really starts," but Sora, watching from the support area, noticed something. She leaned forward, studying the screens. Carefully, Kangde was not fighting randomly. Every movement had a purpose. Every step was exactly right. The Nethic attacked 5 more times in rapid succession. Each time it used a different technique, a different angle, a different speed, and each time Kang Day was already moving before the attack came. He was not reacting to what he saw, he was predicting what would happen. "Impossible," the Nethic hissed. "You should not be able to track me." "I don't track you," Kang Day said calmly. "I know where you will be." The Nethic warrior grew frustrated. It began attacking faster, more aggressively. The gas swirled violently, creating patterns that were supposed to confuse enemies. But Kangde's movements remained smooth and precise. Then he went on the offensive. When the Nethic reformed after a strike, Kang Day was waiting. His hand shot out and grabbed the force field generator embedded in the gas cloud. The Nethic tried to disperse, but Kang Day held tight. He pulled, twisted, and threw the alien across the arena. The Nethic hit the far wall and dropped to the ground. Its force field flickered. The gas inside swirled chaotically. Kang Day walked toward his opponent, his damaged armor clicking. With each step, the Nethic tried to rise, tried to attack again, but it was too slow. Kang Day delivered a precise strike to the force field generators power cell. The field collapsed. The Nethic's gas form spread out across the arena floor, no longer compressed or dangerous. The warrior was defeated, but not dead. Nethic could survive without their force fields, though they became helpless. Match complete. The announcement system declared winner Kang Day human. Silence fell over that section of the arena. Then slowly polite applause began. It was the kind of applause that comes from surprise, not respect. The aliens in the stands were confused. How had the human in broken armor won so easily? Kang Day turned and walked back to the exit. As he did, another piece of his armor fell off. Gauntlet from his right hand clattered to the ground. He did not stop to pick it up. Sora met him in the tunnel leading away from the arena. "That was incredible," she said. "How did you predict every move?" The Nethic telegraph their attacks, Kang Day explained. The gas swirls in specific patterns before they strike. Once you know the patterns, they become easy to read. But nobody has ever mentioned that before. Nobody else can read those patterns. Kang Day looked at his damaged armor. Maybe nobody else was paying attention. They walked back to the preparation area. Around them, other fighters watched with new interest. The human had won his first match. Perhaps it was luck. Perhaps the Nethic warrior had been weak, but some of the more experienced fighters recognized something in Kang Day's movements. They saw the efficiency, the precision, the complete absence of wasted motion. These warriors began to wonder if the broken armor was hiding something more dangerous than anyone expected. The second round would begin in 6 hours. Kang Day's next opponent would be stronger, faster, and much more dangerous than the first. The second round brought a different kind of opponent. Kang Day faced a Krax warrior, a species known for their incredible strength and natural armor. The Krax stood 8 ft tall, covered in thick red scales that could stop bullets. His name was Gorthak, and he had won tournaments on 7 different worlds. Gorak looked at Kang Day and shook his massive head. They should not let you fight in that armor. It is broken, dangerous. It works well enough, Kang Day replied. I will try to end this quickly. You seem brave. Stupid but brave. The match began. Gorak charged forward like a tank, his heavy footsteps shaking the arena floor. He swung a massive fist toward Kang Day's head. The punch had enough force to crush steel. Kang Day was not there when the fist arrived. He had already moved, sliding under the blow. His own strike hit Gorthak in the side, right between 2 scale plates, the cracks. Warrior grunted in surprise and pain. You know Crack's anatomy, Gorak said. More careful now. I studied, Kang Day answered. They fought for 3 minutes. Gorthak used his natural advantages, trying to corner the human and use his superior strength, but Kang Day never stayed still long enough to be caught. He moved constantly, always finding the weak spots in Gorthak's defense. Then disaster struck. Kang Day's chest plate, already cracked and damaged, finally broke completely. It split down the middle and fell away in 2 pieces. Now his chest was protected by only the thin, padded suit underneath. The crowd gasped. Some aliens called for the match to be stopped. Surely the human could not continue without proper armor, but Kang Day did not stop. If anything, he moved faster now. The weight of the broken chest plate had been slowing him down. Without it, he was quicker. Gorthak attacked with renewed confidence. He aimed for the exposed chest, trying to end the fight with one blow. His clawed hand shot forward. Kang Day caught the hand. He twisted, using the cracks, his own momentum against him, and threw the massive warrior to the ground. Before Gorth could recover, Kang Day struck a pressure point at the base of his skull. The cracks warrior went limp, unconscious but unharmed. Winner, Kang Day, human. This time the applause was louder. The aliens were beginning to understand that something unusual was happening. 4 hours later, Kang Day faced his third opponent. This was a Vel warrior, a being made of living crystal. The Vel's body could refract energy weapons, making them almost useless. Their crystalline structure was incredibly strong and could repair itself slowly during combat. The Vel warrior's name was Shard of Morning Light. She moved with a grace that seemed impossible for a creature made of crystal. She carried no weapons because her entire body was a weapon. Sharp edges formed and dissolved along her arms as she moved. You have surprised many, she said to Kang Day before the match, but Crystal does not care about surprises. Crystal simply is. The match was harder than the previous 2. Shard of Morning Light was fast and skilled. She struck with razor-sharp crystal blades that could cut through metal. Kang Day's remaining armor pieces took damage immediately. His helmet cracked. A leg guard shattered, but again Kang Day showed that strange ability to know where attacks would come from. He moved with perfect timing, avoiding blows that should have been impossible to see coming. When he struck back, he aimed for the small faults in the crystal structure, the tiny imperfections that every veil carried. The match lasted 7 minutes. When it ended, Kang Day stood victorious, but his helmet was gone completely. Half his armor was scattered across the arena floor. He looked less like a warrior and more like someone who had survived an explosion. In the preparation area, aliens who had laughed At him before now watched with serious faces. Zora worked desperately to repair what remained of his armor, but there was less and less to work with. This is becoming a problem, she said. You have 2 more matches before the semifinals. At this rate, you'll have no armor left. Then I'll fight without armor, Kang Day said simply. A group of alien engineers stood nearby watching. One of them, a being with 6 arms and multiple eyes, approached Sora. What augmentations does your warrior have? The alien asked. None, Sora replied. Impossible. His reaction time is too fast. His precision is beyond normal biology. He must have computer implants, enhanced nerves. Something. He's completely natural, just a human. The alien engineers exchanged glances. But humans are from Earth. Yes. A high-gravity world with dangerous wildlife. That's right, we have heard stories, another engineer said quietly. Stories about what evolution on such a world creates. We thought they were exaggerations. Maybe they weren't, Sora said. Around the Great Hall the mood was changing. Warriors who had ignored Kang Day now studied him carefully. The betting market shifted dramatically. Some aliens still thought he would lose, that his luck would run out, but others began to wonder. Bareth the Great, Crack's champion, watched footage of Kang Day's matches on a personal screen. His gold-marked scales reflected the light as he studied the human's movements over and over. Finally, he turned to his own support crew. This human is dangerous, Vorath said. More dangerous than his broken armor suggests. He is lucky. One of his crew members replied. No, Vorath said firmly. Luck does not look like that. That is skill, pure refined skill. He paused. I hope I face him. I want to test myself against whatever this is. The 4th round began. Kang Day won again, this time against an opponent who could control magnetic fields. More of his armor fell away during the fight. By the end, he wore only scattered pieces, held together by determination and temporary repairs, but he kept winning. The pattern was clear now. The human and broken armor was not weak. He was something else entirely. Something the galaxy had not expected, and with each match, more aliens began to realize that laughing at him had been a terrible mistake. The semifinals were different from everything that came before. Only 4 warriors remained. Each one had proven themselves against dozens of opponents. Each one was considered among the best fighters in the known galaxy. Kang Day sat in the preparation room. What little remained of his armor spread on the table in front of him. Sora looked at the pieces with despair. The chest plate was completely gone. One arm had no armor at all. The other arm had only a cracked forearm guard. His legs were protected by thin shin guards that barely stayed attached. The helmet was destroyed 3 matches ago. I can't fix this, Zora said, her voice tight with frustration. There's nothing left to fix. I know, Kang Day replied. He was meditating, his breathing slow and steady, his eyes closed. You'll be fighting with almost no protection against Vorath. Do you understand how insane that is? I understand. He's killed 17 opponents in tournaments. Not injured, killed. His armor is worth more than a small spaceship. His augmentations are military grade, and you're going to face him wearing scraps. Kang Day opened his eyes and looked at her. Sora, do you trust me? She wanted to say no. She wanted to grab him and shake him and make him understand the danger, but they had been through too Many battles together she had seen him survive things that should have been impossible. I trust you, she finally said. I just don't understand you. Heavy footsteps echoed in the corridor. Outside, both of them turned as a massive shape filled the doorway. Vorath entered, ducking under the frame. His armor gleamed with inner light, power cells humming softly. The gold markings on his scales seemed to glow. Human warrior, Vorath said formally, I wish to speak with you before our match. Kangde stood, even standing the top of his head barely reached Vorath's chest. I'm listening. Vorath looked at the broken armor on the table, then back at Kangde. You have surprised everyone, including me. I came here to apologize for my words when you first arrived. You are not a scrap collector. You are a warrior and you deserve respect. Thank you, Kangde said simply. But Vorath continued, respect does not mean mercy. When we fight, I will use my full strength. I will not hold back because your armor is broken. To do so would insult you. I wouldn't want you to hold back. Vorath tilted his head, studying the human. You are strange. Most warriors would show fear now, or at least concern, but your heartbeat is steady. Your breathing is calm. Are you not afraid? Fear is useful, Kangde said. It keeps you alert, but terror makes you stupid. I choose to stay alert. Interesting. Vorath turned to leave, then paused. Tell me something, human. Your armor has been failing since the first match. Why did you not get it properly repaired? The tournament provides facilities. You could have had new armor. Kangde met the Cracks warrior's eyes. The armor I have is the armor I need. Vorath stared at him for a long moment. Something flickered in his reptilian eyes, an emotion that might have been understanding or might have been doubt. We shall see. The match begins in 1 hour. I look forward to testing myself against you. He left, his footsteps fading down the corridor. Sora turned to Kangde. What did you mean? The armor you have is the armor you need. That makes no sense. It will, Kangde said. He closed his eyes again, returning to his meditation. The hour passed quickly. Sora did what she could with the remaining armor pieces, reinforcing them with every trick she knew, but it was like trying to rebuild a house with only a hammer and nails. The armor was functionally useless now. They walked to the arena entrance together. The crowd noise was deafening. This match was being broadcast across multiple star systems. Millions of beings watched, waiting to see the battle between the legendary Vorath and the mysterious human who kept winning despite his terrible equipment. At the entrance, Sora grabbed Kangde's arm. Whatever happens, I want you to know you've already proven yourself. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do, he said gently. Not for them, for us, for every human who will come after me. They need to see what we really are. And what are we? He smiled slightly. Survivors from a world that tried to kill us every day. We learn to adapt, to think, to overcome. That's our armor, Sora, not this. He tapped the cracked forearm. Guard, this is just decoration. The doors opened. The roar of the crowd hit them like a physical force. Kangde walked onto the arena floor, his broken armor clicking softly across the arena. Vorath emerged from the opposite entrance, his armor blazed with power. Weapon systems coming online with electronic hums. The contrast was stark. One warrior looked like a living tank, covered in advanced technology and natural weapons. The other looked like a survivor of a disaster held together by willpower and tape. The screens above showed both fighters. Commentators spoke in dozens of languages, analyzing the match. Before it began, most gave Kang Day less than a 10% chance of victory. Some suggested the match should be stopped for safety reasons, but Shimmer of Dawn, the VEL official overseeing the tournament, allowed it to proceed. Galactic law was clear. Both warriors had earned their place. Both had the right to fight. Fighters ready. Announcement system declared Kang Day and Vorath took their positions. This match will determine one finalist. Fight with honor, fight with skill. Begin in 10 seconds. Kang Day breathed slowly, centering himself. Around him the universe seemed to slow down. He could hear his heartbeat, feel the air moving across his skin, sense the energy of the moment. 5 seconds. Vorath lowered into a combat stance, his armor humming with ready power. Begin. The battle for the final started, and the galaxy watched to see which warrior would prevail. Vorath moved like an avalanche. For such a large creature, he was terrifyingly fast. His first strike came in less than a second. A massive fist wreathed in energy from his powered gauntlet. The blow could have punched through concrete wall. Kang Day rolled away. Fist hit the arena floor where he had been standing, leaving a small crater. Before the human could recover, Vorath was already attacking again. A tail sweep, a claw strike, a shoulder charge. Each attack flowed into the next with practice skill. This was what made Vorath a champion. He did not rely only on strength or technology. He was genuinely skilled, his movements precise and purposeful. Every attack was designed to limit his opponent's options, to force them into positions where his power could be used most effectively. Kang Day defended, his movements economical and exact. He blocked with his forearms where armor remained, dodged when he could, and absorbed impacts on the thickest parts of his remaining protection. But the armor was failing rapidly. Vorath's claws rad across Kang Day's chest. The thin padding underneath tore. 4 red lines appeared on the human skin, bleeding slightly. The crowd gasped. First blood. Devorth, the announcement system declared. The Cracks warrior pressed his advantage. He was not cruel, but he was merciless. His attacks increased in speed and power. A plasma burst from his gauntlet, caught Kang Day's left side, burning away what remained of his arm. Guard, the metal fell to the ground. Still smoking, Kang Day struck back when he could, his blows precise and targeted. He hit nerve clusters, joint weak points, gaps in Vorath's armor, but the Cracks' his armor was adaptive. Each time Kang Day found a weakness, the armor adjusted, closing the gap or reinforcing the area. 2 minutes into the fight, Kang Day's remaining chest protection broke completely. A solid punch from Vorath shattered the already damaged plate. The pieces fell away, leaving only the padded undersuit covering his torso. Now he was essentially unarmored from the waist up. In the stands, aliens who had bet on the human began to look worried. In the preparation areas, other warriors shook their heads. The human had been impressive, but this was too much. No one could fight Vorath without proper armor. Sarah watched from the support bay, her hands clenched into fists. She saw what the crowd could not see yet. Kang Day was not panicking. His movements remained controlled, but the armor was now actively hindering him. The remaining pieces pulled at him. Caught on his movements, threw off his balance. Voreth noticed it too. Your armor is making you slower, he said. Between exchanges, perhaps you should have accepted new equipment. Kang Day did not respond. He was focused entirely on the fight, reading Voreth's patterns, learning his rhythms. The Cracks was skilled, but all warriors had patterns. All fighters had habits. Another exchange. Voreth's tail swept low. Kang Day jumped, but one of his shinwards caught on the tail. He stumbled slightly, for seized the opportunity, delivering a powerful strike that sent the human sliding across the arena floor. Kang Day rolled to his feet, but now his right leg guard was cracked and hanging loose. It pulled at his leg with each movement. The last forearm guard on his left arm was bent at an angle, restricting his ability to block. You cannot win like this, Voreth said. There was no mockery in his voice, only honest assessment. Your spirit is strong, but your equipment has failed. You, the Cracks warrior, moved in for what he clearly intended to be a finishing sequence. He raised both arms, energy crackling around his gauntlets. He would deliver a double strike from above, using enough force to end the match without killing the human. Time seemed to slow down for Kang Day. He could feel every piece of broken armor pulling at him, limiting him, forcing him to compensate for weight and resistance that served no purpose. Armor had been deteriorating all tournament. Now it was not protecting him, it was imprisoning him. A memory flashed through his mind. Training on Earth years ago, his instructor, an old soldier named Master Hong, watching him practice in full combat gear. Why do we train in armor? Master Hong had asked. For protection, young Kang Day had answered. Wrong. We train in armor to learn discipline, to move efficiently, despite handicaps. But in real combat, protection comes from not being hit at. All armor is a tool, not a crutch. Then, when do we remove it? Master Wong had smiled. When you need to show what a human really is. The memory faded. Kang made a decision. As Voreth's double strike descended, Kang Day did not dodge. Instead, he reached up with both hands and unclasped the broken armor pieces. The bent forearm guard fell away. He twisted and let the damaged shin guards drop. The last few pieces that still clung to his body, held on by straps. In desperation, he simply pulled off and tossed aside. In 3 seconds, he stood wearing only the flexible padded undersuit. No armor, no protection, nothing but the simple black fabric designed for comfort under battle gear. Voreth's attack stopped mid-swing. His arms remained raised, but confusion crossed his reptilian features. Around the arena, the crowd fell absolutely silent. Even the commentators stopped talking, shocked by what they were seeing. Kang Day stood in the center of the arena, unarmored and calm. He looked at Voreth and spoke clearly enough for the arena's microphones to pick up his words. Now, he said quietly, we fight properly. The silence in the great hall was complete. Thousands of beings held their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The human had removed his armor. He stood vulnerable, exposed, with nothing but cloth between his skin and one of the most dangerous warriors in the galaxy. And somehow, impossibly, he looked more dangerous now than he had before. Voreth stared at him, trying to understand. Then slowly, a smile crossed the Cracks warrior's face. You are either the bravest fool I have ever met, or something I do not yet understand. You're about to find out which Kang Day replied. He moved into a ready stance, and for the first time in the entire tournament, his movements were completely free and unrestricted for 3 heartbeats. Neither fighter moved. The arena remained silent. Then Voreth attacked with the same devastating power he had shown throughout the match. His plasma gauntlets blazed, his claws extended. He moved to crush this foolish human who had thrown away his only protection, but Kang was not there. When the attack arrived, he moved like water flowing around a rock, where before his movements had been good, now they were perfect. Every step was exactly what it needed to be. No wasted motion, no excess energy. He simply flowed from one position to another, and Voreth's massive strikes found only empty air. The Crack's warrior adjusted quickly. He changed tactics, using faster combinations instead of power strikes. But Kang slipped past every blow. It looked almost like dancing, except this dance was deadly serious. Then Kang counter-attacked. His strike hit Voreth in a gap between armor plates, space so small that most beings would never notice it. The Cracks grunted surprise before he could react. Another strike hit a different gap. Then another. Vath's adaptive armor tried to respond, shifting to cover the vulnerable points. But Kang was already moving to new targets. He struck nerve clusters through the armor gaps. He hit joint connections. Each blow was precisely calculated to cause maximum effect with minimum force. Impossible. Someone. The crowd whispered, how does he know where to strike? In the support bay, an alien engineer turned to Sora with wide eyes. The armor, the engineer said, it was not failing. He was letting it fall apart. What do you mean? Sora asked, though she was beginning to understand. Look at him now. See how he moves? That is not possible while wearing armor. Any armor, even good armor, restricts movement slightly. Your warrior was handicapping himself. The broken armor was making the fights harder on purpose. Sora stared at the screen showing the fight. Why would anyone do that? I do not know, the engineer replied, but watch, that is what a human looks like when nothing holds them back. On the arena floor, Voreth was beginning to realize the same thing. The human was not lucky. He was not desperate. He was utterly, completely in control. Every movement Voreth made, Kang had already predicted. Every attack pattern, every combination, every feint was anticipated. The Crack's warrior had fought hundreds of battles. He was a decorated champion, but now for the first time in years he felt something he had almost forgotten. He felt outmatched. Voreth roared and unleashed his full power. His armor's energy systems blazed at maximum output. He moved faster than he had against any previous opponent, using every enhancement his technology provided. The air around him crackled with power. Kang met the assault with quiet precision. He did not match Voreth's speed by being faster. He matched it by knowing exactly where to be and when to be there. His strikes found their targets. His defenses were absolute. He moved with the kind of efficiency that only came from perfect understanding of combat. 3 minutes passed, then 4. Fourth was tiring, something that almost never happened to a Crack's warrior. Their endurance was legendary, but fighting an opponent you could never hit who struck you at will drained energy at an incredible rate. Kang by contrast, showed no signs of fatigue. His Breathing remained steady, his movements did not slow. If anything, he seemed to be getting faster as the fight continued, as if he was still warming up. How? Voreth gasped between attacks. How are you doing this? You fight with enhancements, Kangde replied calmly. I fight with what I was born with. Humans evolved on a world that tried to kill us. Every day, we learned to be efficient, because waste meant death. We learned to read patterns because missing a predator's habits meant becoming prey. We learned endurance because our hunting style was to chase our food until it collapsed from exhaustion. He struck again, a perfect blow to Voreth's solar plexus cluster. Your technology makes you powerful, but it also makes you predictable. You rely on what your armor can do instead of what you can do. Voreth stumbled back. For the first time, doubt crossed his face. He had built his entire fighting style around his natural advantages and technological enhancements, but this human was showing him that raw capability, refined to perfection, could overcome any advantage. The Cracks warrior gathered himself for one final assault. He respected this opponent too much to give up. He charged forward using every technique he knew, combining power and speed and skill in a desperate attempt to land a decisive blow. Kangde waited until the last possible moment. Then he moved. He stepped inside Voreth's guard, so close that the larger warrior's arms could not reach him effectively, and he delivered a single palm strike to Voreth's solar plexus cluster. The strike was not hard by external standards. Kangde had not used his full strength, but it was perfectly placed, perfectly timed, and hit exactly the right spot. The impact traveled through Voreth's armor, through his natural scales, and struck the nerve cluster with absolute precision. Voreth's entire body seized, his nervous system overloaded from the perfectly delivered strike. He did not lose consciousness, but every muscle locked up. He stood frozen for a moment, then collapsed forward. His armor systems flickered and died as his body went into emergency shutdown to protect itself from the neural overload. Kangde stepped back as the massive warrior fell. He stood calmly, breathing steadily, unmarked except for the minor scratches from earlier in the fight. The arena was absolutely silent. No one moved, no one spoke. Thousands of beings stared at what had just happened, unable to process it. Then from the warrior section, a single alien began to clap. Others joined. The applause grew, spreading through the entire arena like a wave. It was not the polite applause from earlier matches. This was genuine respect, awe, and more than a little fear. Winner, the announcement system declared, its automated voice somehow sounding surprised. Kangde human advancing to finals. Medical teams rushed to Voreth. He was alive and would recover completely, but he would need time. As they carried him away on a hover stretcher, the Cracks warrior managed to look at Kangde one last time. He tried to speak but could not. Instead, he made a gesture with one claw, a sign of respect in his culture. Kangde returned the gesture. Sora ran onto the arena floor and grabbed Kangde. That was insane. Beautiful but completely insane. It had to be done, he said simply. Around them, the crowd continued to applaud. The humans had been dismissed, laughed at, considered weak. But they had just witnessed what a single human could do when nothing held him back, and the galaxy would never forget it. The finals took place 12 hours later. Kangde's Opponent was a warrior from a species called the drill beings who could manipulate gravity around themselves. The Drell warrior was skilled and powerful, but the match was over in minutes. Without his armor, Kang Day moved with such precision that the gravity manipulation could not catch him. He won decisively and without drama. The crowd cheered, but it was the semi-final match everyone would remember. That was the moment the galaxy learned what humans truly were. After the award ceremony, Shimmer of Dawn requested a private meeting with Kang Day and Sora. They met in a quiet chamber away from the celebrations, where the Vel official could speak freely. "I must understand," Shimmer of Dawn said, colors flickering rapidly across the crystalline body. "We scanned you before the tournament. You have no cybernetic enhancements, no genetic modifications, no combat AI implants. By every measurement, you are what we would call baseline human, yet you defeated warriors who were enhanced far beyond natural capabilities." Kang Day sat quietly for a moment before responding. "What do you know about Earth?" "It is a Class 12 death world," the Vel official replied. "High gravity, aggressive wildlife, dangerous weather patterns. Most species would require significant protective equipment to survive there for extended periods. That's where we evolved." Kang Day said humans did not evolve on a gentle world. Everything on Earth was trying to kill us. The animals were faster, stronger, had better senses. The weather could kill you. The diseases were relentless. For millions of years, we survived not by being the strongest, but by being the smartest and most persistent. He stood and walked to the window, looking out at the stars. Other species see baseline human biology as a limitation, but that biology evolved specifically to overcome challenges. Our brains developed to recognize patterns, to predict behavior, to plan ahead. Our bodies developed endurance that lets us outlast almost anything. We became persistent hunters. We would chase prey for days until it collapsed from exhaustion. Sora continued the explanation. Other species in the galaxy evolved on easier worlds. When they developed technology, they used it to enhance what they already had. But humans, we developed technology to make our environments more survivable. We never needed to enhance ourselves because we were already designed for the hardest environment imaginable. Shimmer of Dawn's colors shifted to something that might have been understanding or fear. "But your armor, why wear damaged armor?" "The armor was not damaged when I started," Kang Day said. "It was standard tournament armor. Exactly what everyone else wears. But armor restricts movement. It adds weight. It changes how you fight. For most species, that is acceptable because the protection is worth it. But for humans, we evolved to move efficiently. Armor makes us slower, less precise." He turned back to face the Vel official. "I wore the armor because tournament rules required it. As it broke during fights, I could move more freely. Each piece that fell away made me more dangerous, not less. By the time I faced Voreth, I realized the armor was actually helping my opponents, so I removed it." "This is troubling," Shimmer of Dawn said quietly. "If one baseline human can defeat enhanced warriors by removing restrictions, what does this mean for galactic society?" Sora spoke carefully. "It means humans have been handicapping ourselves. We wear armor we do not need. We accept limitations that other species require. We slow ourselves down to fit into a Society built by species that evolve differently. There are billions of humans. The Vel official said, if even a fraction possess this level of capability. Most humans are not warriors, Kangde assured, but yes, the potential exists. In all of us, Earth made us into survivors. That is in our DNA. Shimmer of Dawn was quiet for a long time, colors shifting through patterns that showed deep thought. Finally, the official spoke again. Will you tell other humans, will they learn what you have shown here? Kangde and Sora exchanged glances. The tournament was broadcast across multiple systems. Sora said millions watched. Humans watched. They saw what one of us could do without restrictions. So yes, they will learn. The galaxy will change. Shimmer of Dawn said, perhaps, King. Day replied, but humans do not want conflict. We just want to be understood. For too long, other species have seen us as weak because we are not enhanced. They have laughed at us because we do not rely on technology to improve our bodies. Now they know the truth. And what is the truth? Kangde smiled slightly, that humans are not weak. We are patient. We are not limited. We are efficient. We do not need enhancement because we were enhanced by 4 billion years of evolution on the harshest world imaginable. Every human carries that legacy in their cells. He picked up a piece of his broken armor from the table. When you see a human in damaged armor, do not laugh. Consider that maybe, just maybe, they are wearing it as a courtesy, because without it they might be too dangerous for anyone to face fairly. Shimmer of Dawn's colors settled into a pattern that clearly indicated respect mixed with weariness. I will include this information in my report to the Galactic Council. They should know what humans truly represent. Good, Sora said, it's about time the galaxy understood us properly. The meeting ended shortly after, as Kangde and Sora left the chamber. They walked through corridors filled with aliens who now watched them with new eyes. Some showed respect, some showed fear. All showed understanding that humans were not what they had seemed. They passed Voreth in one of the medical recovery areas. The Cracks warrior was sitting up, his body mostly recovered from the neural overload. He called out as they passed human warrior Kangde. They stopped. Kangde approached respectfully. How are you feeling? I will recover fully, Boreth replied, but I wanted to speak with you. I have fought hundreds of battles. I have defeated opponents from dozens of species, but I have never been so completely outmatched. You are not just better, you are operating on a different level entirely. You are an excellent warrior, Kangde said. Honestly, on any other day against almost any other opponent, you would have won, but not against a human who removes his handicaps. Voreth made a sound that might have been a laugh. I told you I wanted to test myself against whatever you were. Now, no, you are what happens when evolution on a death world meets conscious skill development. You are what all warriors should fear. I do not want to be feared. Too late, Boreth said. But there was respect in his tone. The galaxy has seen you now. They know what humans can be. Some will fear that, others will respect it, but none will laugh again. Kangde nodded slowly. Perhaps that is enough. They left the medical area and made their way back to their quarters. Tomorrow they would collect the prize money and return to human space, but tonight they simply rested. Sora looked at the broken armor pieces scattered around their room. What do we do with these? Leave them, Kangde said. Let Them be a reminder, not all protection comes from armor, sometimes the greatest. Strength is knowing when to remove your limitations, high above in the great hall. The broken pieces of armor from the arena floor had already been collected. They would be placed in the Tournament Museum, a memorial to the day a human warrior taught the galaxy an important lesson: never laugh at damaged armor. The warrior wearing it might be showing mercy by not revealing what they truly are. And when that warrior decides the armor is no longer needed, when they choose to show the galaxy what baseline humanity really means, the hall will fall silent in understanding and respect. The age of underestimating humans had ended. A new era had begun, one where the galaxy would finally see Earth's children for what they truly were: survivors from a world that created the most efficient, persistent, and dangerous warriors in known space. And they had only been handicapping themselves to be polite.